if you want to get this going. All right, cool. We are live. Good morning. Oh, we're on all the platforms, all the places. So, good morning, Pam. If you guys are on Instagram up here, you guys can see me here, and then Pam's down on Instagram. We're also here in the StreamYard, so we're all over the place. And the purpose of today is to help Pam with her business. That's kind of the goal. So, without further ado, let's dive into this. And you want to make sure there we go. You can see it, and there's the volume should be down. There we go. Let me make sure there's no echoing. Sometimes Instagram has a weird little echo. You guys give me thumbs up or thumbs down if everything sounds good, so I can at least see that everything sounds smooth as you guys are tuned in on all the things you're tuned in on. Let me know as well on Instagram if we're tuned in properly, and if we are, we should be good. And then let's do this. So give me a rundown, just for you guys who are tuned in right now. Here's the purpose. My goal is for the next 5 weeks, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to pop on and coach somebody in real time live through everything we're doing here. Someone says sound is off. Let's see if I can make sure. Yep, I'm off is there. All right, we should be good. We got some thumbs up. But for the next, I want to go through and guide people in real time through some structure for helping their business grow a little bit. Because a lot of people do some amazing things. Pam's one of those people. And we want to make sure that we can find a way to get out into the world and tell more of the world what we do so we can help individuals that are seeking the insights that we all have sometimes tucked inside of us. So we're going to dive in. Do me a favor, Pam.
Yes.
Just really quickly introduce yourself, what it is you're doing. And then the last thing would be, what is the struggle you're battling you want to get some clarity on?
So I have a book, an existing book, and a course.
Okay.
Financially Fit Divorce.
Okay.
The book is coming out hopefully this month.
Congrats. That's awesome. I love that.
The existing book is I Now Pronounce You Financially Fit, How to Protect Yourself in Marriage and Divorce.
Okay.
Yeah. So my question was I've never been divorced. So how is it that I proceed to understand before getting them to understand me and what I want to teach them?
Gotcha. So this is actually a great question. I remember from the end. So just so you guys know, she sent it and I looked at it briefly, but didn't dive in. I like doing this stuff in real time. So here's what I will lead into. Oh, we lost you on Instagram. It's floating around to your desk.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. There you go.
There you go.
So here's what I would say.
Echo. I've got a bit of an echo on my side.
You might just turn one down sometimes. Like they usually turn the volume down on Instagram or turn the volume down on one of the two should be fine. But here's what I would look at. Whenever you have something you've been doing for a long period of time, it's something where you're going to garner insights from a new perspective that other people might not see. So even if you haven't been divorced yourself, I wouldn't first go, oh, I can't do this. For example, I was with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the NFL, and the offensive line coach when I was there had never played football before. I think it was the Steelers. It was the Steelers or the Redskins, one of the two. So imagine a guy who is now coaching professional football players on offensive line, having never played football in his entire life. That was kind of like this weird dilemma. And I learned way back then that the truth of the matter is you don't always have to be in the experience of it to learn about it. That's how we do it with books, how we do it with class and school. We learn through other people's experiences. However, I think you might have a unique angle here because of one thing that we don't always kind of, I think, peer around the corner and see. And here's what it is. You have a chance to pay attention to divorce more than most people do, even those who go through it. Because for me, I went through divorce. A lot of people go through divorce. And for most of us, it's so painful. We go, I don't even want to look at that anymore. Nah, that's just my hurts my heart is too hard. I'm going to go ahead and steer clear. I'm going to go distract myself doing different things. And even while being in the mix of it, they won't actually pay attention to what's going on in real time. Whereas for you, you have spent time paying attention to it over and over and over and over, right? You hear the conversations. And so what happens is if we go into this with this mentality of, I haven't been divorced, so what do I know about it? I can't have this experience. I think what happens is it probably leads you to not shout from the mountaintops how amazing you could be at what you do. That little voice in the background creates that cognitive dissonance that goes, but you shouldn't go out there because they're going to find out that you haven't been divorced. And what if that one person pokes you and makes you feel bad, right? The idea would be, I think, to lean in and own that. Look, I haven't been divorced. And because I haven't been divorced, there's a benefit to it. I'm able to pay attention and stay in the realm of the conversations on multiple accounts when most people leave them or most people don't ever talk about it. And so I can lend an amazing angle and credibility to it because I can see it. I can feel through so many different people, the different conversations, the words, the causes. So where one person may go, I've been through divorce. I get it. Great. That was one. I've sat in rooms. You've sat in rooms of people and gone through hundreds, I'm sure, in time. So
Yeah.
that should lead to a greater credibility. So do you find, this is a genuine question, do you find that your thought in the back of your head of I've never been divorced, does that slow you down at all?
I think it's one of the things that sort of always pops in my head when I'm trying to relate to my client and listen to them. Sometimes
Gotcha.
I'll interrupt them because I just want to get to the end of the story, and I've been trying to be better about that.
Gotcha. And that's kind of thing. So if we do it that route, then what ends up happening is we sometimes we'll pull back. Has anybody ever found out in the middle of the sessions that you haven't been divorced?
No, I don't think
Oh,
so.
nobody.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
Have you ever said you don't want to tell anybody? It's kind of the thing.
Well, I might bring up that I have a prenup because it's
All right.
somewhat related because it's about money and it's about divorce. And so I might bring up that I have a prenup.
Gotcha. Well, that's not a bad thing. Well, here's what also I'll ask another question. Has anybody gone through the session with you and been like, "You suck at all this. You're horrible."
No, I don't not yet. It could
Not
happen.
yet, right? So I say that in the sense of the idea is that the credibility you have, the ability you have to help people, apparently is not predicated on whether or not you've been divorced. So for anybody out there who's going, man, I don't have a true experience. There are other ways to be an expert. I learned this from a buddy years ago, but you're essentially saying, I'm writing books on this. I'm going to be an expert. You do not have to be the experiential expert. You can be the research expert also, which is kind of what I'm hearing you are. If you think about it, there's a person who went through the ups and downs of, navigating being broke and being rich will call. But then you have a guy like Napoleon Hill. Napoleon Hill wrote, Think and Grow Rich, having not been a billionaire or having a lot of money. He just went and interviewed a lot of people, was in a lot of conversations, became the expert we all pay attention to and read his books and everything. I could even tell you all the people he interviewed. I know his Carnegie was one of them, right? But the idea is that you are in a space of being the research, the research expert, having been through so many conversations where other people have never even been lent into. So I think that is one thing I hope you take away from this now is like
Yeah.
you could now doesn't mean go shout from the mountaintops. Hey, I haven't been divorced. Work with me. That's not how I would lead. Like, however, when you do talk about the understood, that's the question you lean in the beginning. Anybody who's like, well, how do I get my audience to know that I understand them? Because you've been in so many conversations, just start talking about not the obviously individual people and their personal things. I know there's a level of anonymity has to be in place, but I think talking to the problems somebody's experiencing, if you can verbalize out into the marketplace what somebody's genuinely going through, it doesn't matter if you've been divorced or not. They just know you get them. And so because you've been in those conversations, you should heavily lean on the fact that I can talk about this, go through this feeling. I can share these things and people are going to go, wow, the only way she would know that is if she's been in the realm of understanding this stuff. And now nobody cares you've been divorced because you lean in to be able to serve. For example, and I'm going to let you talk in a minute here. If you think about a guy like Dr. Phil, hops on and he just talks about stuff. I have a feeling he doesn't know probably a quarter of the things coming across his plate, nor does he know all these things, but he's the expert you listen to on all these different random topics, right? So I think for you, it's going out, having the talks, having the conversations. You shouldn't have much of an issue there, especially if you can easily verbalize what people who are going through divorce have told you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm an analytical person by nature.
Yeah.
I'm a financial planner. I
Mhm.
like numbers. I like a good spreadsheet. I want to spend my time doing that. But
Yeah.
I've got involved in these divorce cases over the past 10 years and been through the before, during, and after with a lot of divorce clients. I
Gotcha.
know all their stories.
Mhm.
I feel like that's more valuable than just my having the experience.
Yeah. I mean, it is because you get to hear multiple angles and perspectives. Sometimes people going through divorce, they only see their perspective. They only see their angle also. So for you, you get to go in and go like, I'm seeing both the different angles or different sides. And it really gives you a better angle than what they may have. Because when they have those tinted glasses, they want to see nothing else. As you know, no, that's right. That's wrong. This is what it is. And it's like, no, hold on. So you can see it from a different perspective. And I think that's great. So I'm hoping that from our conversation, you can at least release a little bit of that and
Yeah.
lean in. And maybe what you do if you're a data person is you go and start like actually looking at the past clients you have and saying, you know, how many successful clients have I worked with? Because that data is going to show you it doesn't matter if you've been divorced, you've helped, right? That if you want to go and lean into that aspect, you should be totally fine. And anybody, just as a side note, if you guys want to come on and do this with me next Monday, or next, oh, if you want to come on the next 5 weeks on a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, just DM me or message me the word live. Go to Instagram, DM me the word live, or come to any of the platforms you're watching on, message me live, and I'll come on and walk through your business situation as well. So Pam, from this point forward, what's the next step you're looking to take, to build, to create for the next stage of the business?
Well, launching the book, it's being indexed right now, so that's
Okay.
got to be sort of my priority. But I launched a course in 2018
Nice.
and never did any marketing.
Oh, why?
So, and I feel like that's such a loss for the world. You know,
It
that's
is.
I wanted people to see it.
Well, you
You
should
look
never
at
rob the world of the gift of
so
you.
yeah, so the sales were really low. I just had not marketed. I don't know how to do that. Getting that message across. I've been taking some courses. I've been getting
Yeah.
involved in Dean Gracioso's mastermind kind of
Love
stuff,
D.
and
Yep.
thinking about relaunching it on his platform. Just wanna just wanna
Well, yeah.
get it. I want people to see it.
Yeah.
Um, I mean,
You
I
got to
work
be
with
up there.
people individually,
Yeah.
but I wanna I just have this message I wanna get out to the world that you've got to prepare for your divorce. You can't rely on your attorney. They
Mhm.
are your legal expert. They're not your financial expert. You've got to open your mind to learning. You can't just say to me, so many clients say to me, you know, this financial stuff just isn't my thing. My husband took care of it.
Yeah.
I'm not math's not my thing. I'm not into it. Like, just hand it over to the attorney, and the attorney
Mm.
doesn't know what to do with it, and they don't want
Yeah.
to do it. I'm not
Mhm.
throwing attorneys under the bus. They
Yeah.
just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
So I just want, particularly women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, where there
Yeah.
is some money and they need to protect their retirement. That's my message that I want to get out in the world so badly, and I have for so long. I
Yeah.
just don't do the marketing.
Yep. That makes sense. So what I would say is you got to do the marketing, right? And here's the thing, the marketing doesn't have to be anything crazy. I mean, if you just find an avenue to be consistent, I will venture to internally think that because of the conversation we started with, sometimes our brain goes, there's this little thing that if they find out, it'll be bad. And so I haven't been divorced, and I don't know what if somebody finds it out. So I don't want to go really wide because they'll start digging. So part of us gets a little apprehensive. So I would lean in and think that's possibly one of the reasons why we haven't really pushed out. The other part of it is you got to start something that's like, marketing isn't just talking about it one time. In my opinion, marketing is what's the consistent, repetitive, like we'll call it habitual thing I do that's always telling the world about what I have. And so if you have something that you can work, like can't be based off an emotion of, I feel like I got to do a post today, or I feel like I should do a video today. It needs to be, hey, on Tuesdays I do this, on Wednesday I do this, on Thursday I do this, and you just work that machine. It takes time, but you can create a special show. You can create a Reels series. You can create a talking video of you just talking through a topic. But I would say the best market you can do is the consistent sharing of what you have, talking to that individual. You watch a video I put on my Instagram yesterday that talks to how you find a way to speak directly to the actual person you want to talk to. Because the reality is if you can talk to that person intimately, it doesn't matter what the rest of the world sees. That post is not for me. It's not for anybody else but the individual who needs that right now. And so if you can put that out consistently, it may be where someone sees the stuff, they go, I've been through divorce. This person knows what they're talking about, or they know someone going through it and share your video to them, right? So you got to make sure you're spending time in a consistent conversation, because that's the best marketing. Another way to do it is to borrow an audience, which means if you know somebody who's also serving that same demographic, ask them, hey, do you mind if I get on and talk through a segment of my training program that I could, help people with in an hour-long period? And you hop on, train their people. And then the next thing is like, hey, if anybody needs more help with this, I have this course, right? But you've got to be in consistent conversation. If you're not, it's never going to pick up the way it needs to. So yeah, all the things talked about, go do those. Whatever you got to do,
Exactly.
you got to get the conversation going, and you got to realize it's going to be a hard pull. It's going to be you doing things that feel uncomfortable because you haven't done them before. The nature of it all, right? So
This right here. This is
yeah,
uncomfortable.
Oh yes, I mean this is, and it's a good. I really appreciate you coming on too. But I mean, I love doing this. I try to make it less uncomfortable because the whole goal is to say, I may have an area of insight in an area you don't have, but I 100% know if I sat down with you, you would blow my mind with what you know in your realm. And that's the beauty of all this stuff. It's like I do not even want to step into the realm you sit in because I would have no way of leaning in to give people great value. But you could probably save so many lives and so many mental and kids probably too just by helping people with these things, right? So it's if I can help move you closer to that, that's what I would love to do. So yeah. My wife's over here trying to ask for my truck key. I think it's upstairs on the end table, love. Close to the door. She has no gas, so she wants to use my gas. Anyways, so yes, go and market this thing wherever you have it, get it back out there. Because the truth is, you don't have to go recreate it. None of that. You just need to get it in front of people. And if it's hard to do it at a mass level, start by going with a one-on-one. Like it might be somewhere you may not desire to do it that way because time constraints, whatever it is. Just see if you can get someone to go through with you to refine the content. And what you'll do with them, you'll find out why they like it, what they don't like, what they say. And you just take really
Yeah.
good mental notes of this. And then if you have, say you go through 4 or 5 people, you find, they all say this, or they all are speaking to this. Beautiful. That's your marketing. You put that in videos, you do live streams like this, but you have to be a person where they see you and go, oh, who's this person? And they see you again. They go, that's that same person. They see you after 6 months ago. She really is the one to go to for this. And then everything picks up. The book makes sense. People see you enough and go, we got to hire this woman I saw on Instagram or I saw on Facebook. We got to bring her in to talk to our people because she knows this stuff. And now it picks up momentum over time, but it can't be something where you have this amazing thing hidden in the background that the world doesn't see.
Yeah. I mean, that's sort of been what it's been. And it's, I do get out there with people in my own industry.
Mhm.
I got Financial Planning Magazine to do I was on their podcast, which is amazing, but
Yeah.
that's not going to get me the people who need to hear this.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to talk to those people. It'll get you the next step of people paying attention. But if somebody pays attention, they should go to another place. Like, do you have your own like podcast by chance? Oh, that's low hanging fruits. All right, here's a recommendation. Everybody take this idea. This is what I do for my podcast. It's called the Shift Starter Daily. This is an everyday podcast. It goes out Monday through Friday. And here's what I do. I record. I'm gonna do it today. I record 5 7-minute videos that are on just different random topics. And then those videos, they turn into, I rip off the audio and I turn them into podcasts. I have a bumper at the beginning and the end. I got it made through somebody on Fiverr. I went to Fiverr, Upwork, got them to make the intro and outro. And so every week I record an hour of videos and those become my reels. Those become my podcast people listen to. I think we're at 140,000 listens, I think, as of today, like right in that window there. There's at least 200 people every day that tune in on average. I've had as much as like 3 or something. And it's an everyday thing, but consistently it goes out. And I go to speeches, I go on social media. If you watch it, like right here, look, it says textanthony.com. There's an SSD on site. Yeah, that's what it is. So if you go there and go, that's a Shift Starter Daily, SSD. And the purpose of that is to consistently have a conversation where people get to hear you, hear your heart, hear what you're about. It takes you no more than an hour. I kid you not, from getting the video filmed,
Oh,
edited, which is not even hard to edit. I rip the audio off and getting it loaded and scheduled to drop every morning. It's under an hour, under an actual hour. I just hit record, boom, boom, boom. Gotta go to work, pull it off. I load to my phone. It's free if you go to anchor.fm. You can load it for free. And then it's already saved inside of my Anchor with the intros and outros. So I just go in, add it, and then I take the text and I actually text it out every day to community. But when you go to, it's a whole different setup. You don't have to do the whole text setup. But if you go to community.com, you can get a number and someone can text that and it will automatically subscribe them to the podcast. So that every day I text them, here's the next episode. Here's the next episode. It's a consistent piece of content where people get to know you. So that is
yeah.
a very,
Well,
very
I mean, here's the trick with, or maybe the barrier for people who are getting, or at least maybe it's in my head, but
yeah.
that want to get divorced or are in the middle of one or were surprised by a divorce.
Yeah.
They feel like their spouse is going to find out they're getting information. They feel like, and I've had clients say this to me, I don't want my spouse to find out I'm talking to a divorce financial analyst. Will they listen to a podcast? Will they listen to, like, I guess this is my
Who
own
knows?
belief.
Well, have you ever found yourself engaging in some kind of medium you didn't like before? You didn't notice it but you found something great. You're like, oh, I really like this now.
I don't know.
Like I've
I,
gone to weird shows. I'm like, I didn't know I actually liked the Cirque du Soleil. I didn't know I liked Broadway shows. I didn't know I liked musicals. Like there's certain TV shows. My son has me watching. I watched an entire thing of anime on something called Crunchyroll because my son was like started, and I could not watch anymore. So what I'm saying is, if the content resonates and it's good, people will listen.
yeah, but
If
it's
it's
got a negative connotation, right? It's divorce.
no, only if you give a negative connotation. Now we're not. It's something that, but because it's negative to the person who doesn't want to deal with it. For the person that's like, I need this, it is a godsend, right? So don't get in the mentality of like, oh, it's got a negative spin, because then that energy will ooze to the marketing, to the conversations, to the videos. You want to reframe how even you see it, because you're really, it's like it's gonna happen. It's for these some people, you're not promoting divorce. You're saying, look, it's happening. Let's do it properly. If it's going to happen, let's do it. Or if it might happen, or even the contracts. We have life insurance, we have car insurance. These are things that have negative, right? You're talking about, you're only going to use it as an accident. How about just in case you have some insurance for your life? And so this is not, it's not going in the direction of promoting divorce. It's saying it's a reality. 50+% of our people in our society have it. If you have a divorced parent, you have a 50% more chance of being divorced. So that these things just stack on each other. So how about we just get a little smarter about how we think through these things on a just in case basis? And what you do is you lean in and give insights for those of you who might need this, or maybe someone you know might need this. Here it is.
Yeah. When I'd rather just talk about, how an IRA works. But
Yeah.
I've got to get in the mode of, influencing people.
Yeah. And that's, I think, the first part, just start talking about it. Let the because I could be wrong. Let the marketplace tell you. But you got to be in the marketplace for the marketplace to talk to you. It's literally got to be. Those of you guys who tuned in, if you guys want to come on as well and ask a question, just DM me the word live. I saw somebody say I might have to come on and ask a question. Come on and ask the questions. I love doing this kind of stuff. There's a lot I can cover. I do this all the time. We have a mastermind. You'll see a little ticker at the bottom. But realistically, I love this because I do this with different people in different walks of life. And most of the time, we know what to do. You're incredibly intelligent, Pam. I guarantee I can sit with you and you could probably like just talk me in circles on certain things. But we sometimes get the in the echo chamber of our mind of like having conversations that are not helping us get where we want to get to. And so I'm hearing for you, it's like there's a negative spin. We just take it out. Just think about that one person who's sitting somewhere who you may never ever meet, you may never ever see, but they catch a video and it changes their entire perspective on the situation, and it maybe changes their life. Right? That's what you're creating it for. You're not making it for the person who doesn't want it. You're making it for the person who does, but don't let the person who doesn't want it stop you from creating it for the person that does.
Yeah, I know. I've seen so many people go through divorce, work with all these clients, and they do they can't see the other side,
Mhm.
when they're in it. And I'm like, we're going to get there. It's going to get there. I know you can't hear me. We're
Yeah.
going to get it. And,
Yeah.
and that's so gratifying. That's what makes it worth doing. Right. And
Think of
being
that.
in
Yeah.
a kind of a difficult segment of financial planning makes it worth it.
Yeah, 100%. So lean on that emotion. Like literally, when you get up, you start thinking about whatever you got going on. When that little voice goes, but there's going to be something that they don't need. It's getting no. Go back to the person that said they loved it. It changed their life. Just anchor to that moment because that's the one that you need. Realistically, as time goes on, you should get to the point to where you have people talking negatively about you. But what you want to do is get there, because here's the thing: they'll talk negative because they get to know you. And if somebody doesn't know you enough to dislike you, then people will never know you enough to love you. Not going to happen. You got to put it out there. Like think of a guy like Dave Ramsey. A lot of people love Dave Ramsey. A lot of people hate Dave Ramsey. He's just this financial guy, right? But the thing is, the majority love him because he shares this is my thought. And either you love him or you hate him. But for him, he's not serving the people that don't like him. He's serving the ones that love him. Same for you. Lean on that reason why. Whole different game changer. All right, I'm gonna tune out because I'm going to. I got meetings all day. I truly appreciate you coming on, Pam. You guys, this is not an easy thing for someone to come up and share their heart and their true situations. So, man, it's I got a little bit of goosebumps at the thought of you coming on and doing that. I just seriously got them. It was weird. But I thank you so much for allowing me to come on. Trust me, my advice in this moment here. If anybody else wants to come on, just DM me the word live. You can hop on with me and cover your conversational point, no matter what it is. We'll dive in. I like to do this in real time because this is genuinely no preparation. She sent me a message. We got on, rocked and rolled. And this is what I love to do. This is a humongous part of my heart. So thank you, Pam. If you have any questions on this, feel free to message me also, Pam. If anything, kind of like, how do I do that or what I talked about, I am 100% there to kind of support you as best I can. Again, DM me the word live. If anybody wants to do this in real time, also go to anthonytrucks.com/mastermind. It's a whole detail of what we do and how we do this kind of thing at a grander scale, amazing scale with other people. And we change some worlds and businesses. So that's it. Pam, have an amazing rest of your day. Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure and an honor. Thanks.
Very, very welcome. You take care. Seriously, go make some content. Seriously, go make a podcast. Even if it's one a week, just talk through some stuff. You'd be surprised at how game changer that is, because it could be film it first. Film it so it's a video. You can put that out there and then put on anchor.fm for free. Let it be a podcast and some videos, but get in the motion of at least once a week to begin with and progress to more and more in time. You do that, and you do it for like say 3 to 6 months, you'll start seeing a whole different uptick of what you got coming in.
Okay. I'm going to attempt it. I'll let you know how it goes.
All right. Let me know. Seriously, let me know. I'm not even kidding. Like, genuinely let me know. I want to know. I'm curious.
Will do.
All right. Take care, everybody.